Session we have gone through languages part, and we have seen some interesting example of languages. We have discussed about various operations on languages, and that was concatenation, cleans closure, positive closure. All that operations we have seen in the previous session. So today we'll see more interesting examples related to languages. So I am sharing this slide with you. So here we have the first example. So definitely it will be an interactive session. You have to give me the answers to various questions, and we'll discuss the solutions which are suggested by you, so that you understand the subject in a more better way. So here we have to find the language over a comma b. So that is our sigma, which is neither null language nor a b star and satisfies L equal to L star. So now why we have this condition? Because if it is a null language, then definitely L will be always equal to L star. If it is a comma b star, a dictionary itself, then in that case also you cannot add any new element. So again in that case your L will be equal to L star, because if you take L is equal to a comma b star, it contains everything, every possible input element. So that's why the language L cannot be null language only, and language cannot be a comma b star. We want another language L, so that L will be equal to L star. So if you can find any answer, you can write in the chat window. Do you know any such language L which is a subset of a comma b star, or we can say subset of sigma star? I hope you are getting the question. Okay, is it clear? We want a language L which is a subset of sigma star, that means a comma b star, so that L is equal to L star. Language can be a finite language, language can be infinite language. I hope I am audible. So can you give one example? We have discussed similar kind of thing in the last session, if I am not wrong. And in the last lecture, most of you are giving the answers, Rikin, Abhi and all. So today, okay, let us brush up this example if you still have a doubt. So we will consider L is equal to a language. We have two examples here. The first is a raised to n greater than or equal to 0, having elements null, a, double A, triple A, 4 times A. This is an infinite language. So now for this infinite language L, if I find L square, concatenation of language L with itself, then I am not able to include any new element. Right? This will not generate any extra element in the set. L square is same as L. You can observe here that L square is equal to L. Similarly, you can see that if you find L cube, then also it is equal to L. It has same element as the original language. So if you find a union of this all, L star is equal to L union L square union L cube up to L raised to infinity, it will be same as the original language L. So it is an infinite language for which L is equal to L star. Similarly, we have another language L. So here two examples are there. X belongs to a comma b star, length of x is even. So when I perform a concatenation operation of L with the language L itself, then we are not able to generate any additional elements. We'll get again an even length string. So this language L is also an infinite language. It is also an infinite language. and generating L square will not add any extra element into the list. The elements in L square are same as original L. So that is what we need to understand here. So I hope these two languages are clear. So this all for these two languages, both L is equal to L star. You can give any example. Both are infinite languages. Okay, so can we proceed further? Yes, can we proceed further? Because more you will analyze, more you are able to solve the new examples. You should understand this example so that you can find out and solve the new examples. So now here we want to find an infinite language over a comma b. So our sigma is a comma b, which is neither a null language nor a comma b star, and satisfies L, which is not equal to L star. This time the scenario is reverse. We want to find a language L which must be an infinite language. It should not be equal to null language. It should not be a comma b star, and it should satisfy the condition that L is not equal to L star. So when you consider L square, then L square will be different from L, like that. So that definitely L will not be equal to L star. So can you suggest any language? One language I am suggesting is this. If you can recall. Previous lecture. This also we can use as one answer. Is a raised to n, b raised to n greater than or equal to 0. So for which is a subset of a comma b star. And if you find L square, we have seen this in the previous lecture. You can recall that last one. That L square is not equal to L. L square is not equal to L. Okay, I got one more answer from your side. A raised to n, where n is odd. Yes, that is also good. Right? A raised to n, b raised to n. Right? What is this third one? What Keval has written? Right? Rickin's answer is correct. Okay, pattern like ABA, we can consider that. Right? A raised to n, b raised to n, and then a. Right, definitely. If you find a new elements of that language, then L will not be equal to L star. So Keval has also given the correct answer. It is not required. Without that also it will work, but definitely your answer is also correct. Right? Even though we'll write a raised to n, b raised to n, still it is correct. Because we have seen that if you find L square language, we are getting a raised to n, b raised to n, then we are getting another group a raised to m, b raised to m. So that is also sufficient. Right? But this a raised to n, b raised to n, and a, that is correct. Yes, x belongs to a comma b star, length of x is odd. That is also a valid answer. Because when it is odd, when you perform a concatenation of the language with itself, it will definitely generate even length strings. So both the answers are correct. You can also mention this a raised to n is odd, and this second one, length of x is odd, x belongs to a b star. That is also a valid answer. Okay, so I think it is clear now. We can proceed further. More you will participate in the discussion, more you will understand the subject, more it will give you clarity. So here you can see this both examples are here. A raised to n is odd, which you have given as one answer. The second, x belongs to a comma b star, length of x is odd, that is also given by you. And one more we have given, that is a raised to n, b raised to n greater than or equal to 0. That is also a valid answer. So you know 3 languages for which it is correct now. Okay, so let us proceed further. We have one more interesting question here with us. Find languages L1 and L2 satisfying L1 having a concatenation with L2 is equal to L2 having a concatenation with L1, and neither language is a subset of the other, and neither language is a null language. So we want two separate languages, A and B, we can say, such that, or L1 and L2, such that if you do a concatenation of element of L1 with element of L2, or if you do a concatenation of element of L2 with L1, then both answer will be exactly same. And neither language is a subset of the other, and neither language is null. Okay, one we are getting is L1 as a raised to n is odd. Okay, and second one, Rikin has given one language L1, L2 is also required. L2 a raised to n is even. Okay, so when you do a concatenation of these two, so neither language is a subset of the other, that is also true, because one has even elements, one has odd elements. And when you do a concatenation of L1 with L2, you will get again all the S. And if you do a concatenation of L2 with L1, again we'll get all the S. So this one correct example. And these both languages L1 and L2 you have taken as infinite languages. Both languages which are taken by you are infinite languages, right? So definitely it is a valid and correct answer. Any another answer if you can want to share, we can also discuss that, because Keval, Rikin, okay, Harsh has given an answer. L1 is equal to a raised to n is even, and L2 is equal to b raised to m. Okay, so now here the issue is when you do L1 with L2, we are getting the pattern in the form of AB, right? It will be like this. But when you consider L2 L1, we are getting the patterns like so. The issue is they are not equal, because L1 L2 is generating a different elements, and L1 L2 and L2 L1 are generating different elements. So that's why we cannot use this as the valid example, right? If the question is like this, L1 L2 is equal to reverse of L1 L2, then you can give this as a valid answer, right? That L1 L2 is equal to reverse of L1 L2, then we can consider this. And because the reverse of L2 L1 will give you the same, because L2 L1 will give you AABA, BBAA, and reverse of this BBAA, that will be again AABB, right? So if the language is like this, if you have a question like this, L1 L2 is equal to reverse of L2 L1, then it is valid. If L1 L2 is equal to reverse of L2 L1, then her answer is valid, because it will always generate this kind of pattern. I hope, Harsh, it is clear now. Okay, so now with this, let us proceed further. Let us see the answer, what is in the slide, and then we will proceed for the next example. So same example is here. L1 is given as A, triple A, 5 times A raised to n is odd, and another is L2, null, AA, 4 times A, n is even. Both are infinite languages. And we are getting L1, L2 is equal to L2, L1. Also, you can see that we are using a null symbol. Then also, null is acting as a special symbol for the languages, where the concatenation will be always equal to the original one. So definitely, this is a valid example. So now let us proceed further for the next one. So here there is slight different scenario. Okay, Shail has given something different. I hope this Shail is giving for the previous one. Okay, so when you consider L1, L2, these are finite languages, right? Because you have only one element. Shail, am I right? You are talking about only one element in the language? It is a finite language? Okay. So it is like this, L1 and L2. So that is A, B, A, B, A. It is a finite language with only one element. So definitely when we consider L1, L2, we are having A, B, A, A, B, A, B, A. Same way if we consider, because the string which you have taken is a palindrome, right? As you have taken this as palindrome, A, B, A, B, A. And again you are getting A, B, A. It is same, you can see clearly. It is a correct answer. But this both languages L1 and L2 are finite languages. But it is a correct answer because there is no criteria that language L1 and L2 should be infinite. So it is a valid answer. I hope, Shail, it is clear. Okay, I think Rikin and Keval, I hope you are discussing about this new example. Find languages L1 and L2 satisfying L1 having a concatenation with L2 and L2 having a concatenation with L1. And L1 is a proper non-empty subset of L2. So first let us check that is it a non-empty subset which we have mentioned. So let us see that. L1, yes, a raised to n is odd, and L2, a raised to n greater than or equal to 0. So it is everything, all the elements, right? So definitely L1 is a proper non-empty subset of L2. That criteria is satisfied. So Keval and Rikin have given almost same answer. There is only difference of condition n greater than or equal to 0 and n greater than 1, but it is fine because it does not make any difference, right? Because when you consider L1, L2, right, n is odd, so definitely n greater than 1, so things will be fine. So definitely here L1, L2 is equal to L2, L1, and L1 is a proper non-empty subset of L2. That criteria is also satisfied because all the elements of L1 are part of L2 language and L2 has some additional extra elements present in it. And definitely L1 is not a null language because in both the cases it is having a more than one element, right? Okay, one more is given. Now for the current example, what is the condition that L1 is a proper non-empty subset of L2? Now here L1 is not a subset of L2. L2 and L1 are totally different languages. I'm talking about the answer which is mentioned by Harsh, right? Because L1 having a one element AA, it is a different language. L2 is another language having only one element, AAA, right? Don't feel it is a substring. L1 contains a substring, right? And L2 contains another string of higher length. Okay, now when we are talking about these languages, we are considering always the input alphabets A and B, right? Here it is not mentioned, but you have to assume that our input alphabets is A and B always. So that's why we will not consider L1 and L2 like this, a set of whole numbers and set of integers. Right? It is assumed that our input alphabet is A, B, and sigma star is only that, right? In a general case, your answer is correct, a set of whole numbers, because when you define L1 and L2 like this, definitely you cannot have a concatenation operation possible for that. L1, L2 is not equal to L2, L1, because if you take these numbers 1, 2 will be equal to 2, 1, not possible, right? So in general sense also this example which is given by Shail will not work, right? Because one number will be 1, 2, 3, If I consider 12 and 1, let us consider the element like this 12 and 1, right, in L1 and 3 in the another language. So when I consider concatenation, we'll get 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3 and 1, 3. These are the two elements we are getting. On the other hand, if we consider L2, L1, we'll get 3, 1, 2 and 3, 1. Definitely, this will not be equal, right? Because set of whole numbers and set of integers. Because when you do a concatenation of L1 with L2 and L2 with L1, it will change the numbers. It will change the numbers, right? But normally when we are considering a TOEFL, we are always assuming the sigma as A comma B, right? It is A comma B. And we have to think about language which is from sigma star, subset of sigma star. If anything special is required, we are mentioning as a sigma separately. Okay, so let us see the answer in the slide. So here the same example which you have mentioned, a raised to n is odd, and second a raised to n greater than or equal to 0. All the elements from a raised to n is taken as L2. So when I perform L1 L2 concatenation, we are getting this, which is equal to L2 L1. So L1 L2 is equal to A dot null is equal to A equal to null A is equal to L2 L1. Right? So that is what we will get as the answer. Okay, now let us have a new question with us. Find for a finite language L. It is very tricky question, right? Not easy to solve. For a finite language L, so language is finite. We don't have to think about infinite languages. For a finite language L, mod L denotes number of elements in L. We are aware with this definition. For finite languages A and B, so for two languages, both A and B are finite. We want to find mod of A concatenation with B. So we will perform a concatenation of A with B first, and then we'll take the mod of it, which is equal to mod of A into mod of B. Is it always true that if you do a concatenation of two languages and if you count the number of elements in that, is it equal to number of elements in the first language multiplied with the number of elements in the second language, right? That is what we want to do. So now here it is a tricky question, right? So let us see the answer so that you can understand it. So here I have taken this. Yes, the answer is false, but I have taken the example in such a way that you can see that elements are generated more than once. So you can see I am taking A, B, A, right? A, B, A. So you can see that I have a B and A in the first language A. So A is there, you can see in both. And in B we have taken BA, right? So now if you take the first element of, so what I have done, I have taken only one string. I have written that string, I have divided that string into two parts in a different way. You can see ABA. So I have partitioned that string into AB, which is in the first set, and A in the second set. Similarly, I have partitioned this ABA in a different way. A in the first set and BA in the second set. Right? So what I am doing, I am taking ABA as one string. I am putting the AB in the first set and the A into the second set. And then I am taking ABA again. I am partitioning that into A and BA. I am putting the A into the first set and BA into the second set. I am putting the BA into a second set. So same string is there, and one part of that string is in the first set, another part of that string is in the second set. So you can see number of elements in A is equal to 2, number of elements in B, they are also 2, Now if I do a concatenation of A with B, we are getting ABBA, ABA. The reason for this is that we want to get this ABA pattern twice. We want to get this ABA pattern more than once, twice here. So you can see 2 times we have ABA and we have AA. Now as per the set theory, the same element cannot be repeated into the set theory. So we have ABBA, then ABA and AA. ABBA, ABA and AA. That is what we are getting, right, as the AB. So number of elements in AB are 3. Now on the other hand, number of elements in A into number of elements in B will be equal to 4. So statement is not always true. The statement is not always true. For single element set, it is true. Yes, definitely. If it is a single element, you have only one element in both. So 1 into 1, you will get 1. It is obvious, right? Because if you have one element in both, then 1 into 1 will give you 1. And when you do a concatenation of one element with one element, again it will be a single element. So for a single element set, it will be always true. But still, it is not always false. That's why there is an important word, right? That statement is not always true. For some cases, it will be false, right? But for multiple element, it will not be always false. It may be true also. If you take 2 separate elements, right, then it will be also true. But for this kind of special case, it will not be true. So I hope things are clear. We can proceed further. So now we are talking about 3 different languages here. L1 and L2 and L3. Be the languages over some alphabet sigma. Is L1 having a concatenation with L2 intersection L3? L1 having a concatenation with L2 intersection L3 is equal to L1 concatenation with L2 intersection with L1 having concatenation with L3. Always true. So for this kind of examples, you have multiple answers on the net, as I told. So you have to be very careful that whether it is correct or not. So here, when we are considering this example, you will find 2 different answers on the net. Some answers are telling that yes, it is always true. Some answers are telling no, there are some special cases for which it is not true. So be careful while you observe the answers on the net. So can we find out these 3 languages? That L1, L2 and L3 be languages over some alphabet sigma. And best way is, if possible, try to get a finite language when nothing is specified. Right? When nothing is specified, try to get a language as a finite language. So mostly your answer will be correct in the exam. Because if you go for infinite language, there is a high chance that it may be incorrect. So try to, if nothing is specified, if you are allowed to take a finite language, then prefer a finite language, L1, L2 and L3, so you can have a control on the elements of the language and you can easily find out this answer. But if infinite language is specified, then you have to take the infinite language. So is this always true? So answer I am getting from your side is, I think, yes, from Rikin. Yes, what is the another opinion? So here, if you take L1 intersection L2, we have to take L2 intersection L3. Okay, L2 intersection L3 is, okay, L2 intersection L3 is 5, empty set, nothing is there. So when we perform a concatenation of empty set with L1, what you will get? Empty set. And on the other side, if you take L1, L2, then you will get ABA and AA, right? L1, L2 will be ABA and AA, two elements will be there. And similarly, when you take L2, L3, is equal to ABA. That intersection will be ABA, right? And for the first one, L2 intersection L3 is empty set. L2 intersection is an empty set. So this is a valid example. Let us see the example in the side. So here L1 is taken as AB, A, L1, L2 is A, and L3 is taken as BA, right? So when you consider L2 intersection L3, we are getting AB, A, right, which is having a concatenation with 5. 5 is an empty language, right? So concatenation will be empty. Now similarly, L1 having a concatenation with L2, intersection with L1 having concatenation with L3, that will give you ABBA and ABA. So it is ABBA and ABA, right? So this is also a valid example. Sorry, here it should be L1, L3, right? L1, L2 we have to find, and then we have to find L1, L3. So L1, L3 is because we have to find out L1 intersection L2. So here it will be on the other side, L1, L2 concatenation and L1, L3. So L1, L3 will be, in your case, it will be ABBA and ABA. So it is same as what we have done in the slide. Right? This will be L1, L2 because we need this concatenation. Right? Okay, I think Ansha has given some different answer. Let us see. Okay, here for Keval has also given an answer, L2 intersection L3. So L2 intersection L3 is again empty set. Yes, obviously, because AB and BAA, nothing is there. But when we do L1, L2 concatenation, we are getting ABA, ABBA, AA, and ABA. So ABA is twice. So ABA, AA, and ABBA. And then L1 with L3. ABB, ABAA, AB, and triple 4 times A. So I think Keval's answer is not correct because it is telling that they are always true. Because you can see L1, L2, if we find out, then L1, L2 for Keval's answer is AB, A, then ABBA, AA, then ABA. This is what we are getting for Keval answer. And then if we consider L1, L3, so L1, L3 will be different. ABB, ABA, AB, and A, triple A. You can see nothing is common, right? So in this case, L1, L2 intersection L1, L3 is equal to 5. So it is not always true. So Keval's answer is not correct. Now let us see the answer of Ansh. Okay, now here you are taking a sigma differently. You are taking sigma as C, right? L2 intersection L3 you are taking as C, right? So your input alphabet is ABC. Then you need to specify that L2 intersection L3 is your C, because BC and here it is AB comma C. So C is the intersection. So when you perform with L1, it is AC and AAC, and when you perform with L1 L2, it is AB AC. Again, you will get some answer, right? So I suggest us to take the input alphabet as A and B because it will generate so many elements, right? And we need to check the concatenation result also in that case. That's why we are always preferring the alphabet as AB, right? Because otherwise we need to validate all the possible values. So here why the concatenation with an empty set is equal to empty set. So it is given the definition that if L1 and L2 be the languages, then the concatenation L1 having a concatenation with L2 is defined as W is equal to XY, X belongs to L1 and Y belongs to A2. So concatenation operation must be performed. X must be from L1 and Y must be from L2. If L2 is an empty language, so no element is present in L2. So there is no string possible in Y which belongs to L2. So it is not possible to perform the operation W is equal to XY. Right? We cannot perform this operation because there is no element Y. As there is no element Y present, we cannot perform this concatenation operation. It fails. Thus, for any L1, we will have L1 having a concatenation with empty set is equal to empty set, right? Because you cannot perform the operation itself because there is no element present in the L2 language. There is no element present in the L2 language. If it is null, we can perform the operation. But here null is also not present, so operation will fail. We cannot perform the concatenation operation. So that's why it is empty set. So I hope this example is clear, right? Let us go for next one. Let language L1 and L2 be subset of sigma star, and consider the two languages L1 star union L2 star and L1 union L2 whole star. Which of the two is always a subset of the other? We have to check this criteria. Which of the two is always a subset of the other? So we can give the example and we can tell that which of the two is always a subset of the other. Right, so we have to find out L1 and L2. We have to check L1 star union L2 star, and we have to generate L1 union L2 whole star. So can you give the example? I hope the question is clear. Any query in the question? So can you tell which of the two is always a subset of the other? Can you give any example? Any example which will give the answer of this? There may be a chance that both can be equal. Special case can be there, but in that case, one is also a subset of the other. So you can also give an example in which L1 star union L2 star is equal to L1 union L2 whole star, because in that case also it is a subset of the other. Anything which comes to your mind, we can discuss. Right? If you give the example, we can discuss that example. That is it correct or not? You should try. If you try out, then and then you will understand the subject. More you understand, more it is better for you. Right? Because I am getting a response from still 6 people only, and there are more than 40 people here. 43 people are there. 42. But response is only from 6 students. Others are just listening the lecture. Okay, so can you tell what will be the answer? L1 star union L2 star will be a subset of L1 union L2 star. Yes, because when you write L1 union L2, it will be only 3 elements, right? Because it is a union operation. When you write L1 union L2, we are getting 3 elements, A, B, A and B, A. Right? So now when you find L1 star union L2 star, all the elements which are generated by L1, we can generate from this L1 union L2 star. Similarly, all the elements of L2, we can generate L2 star, we can generate from L1 union L2 star, obviously. Along with that, we have some additional elements possible, right, which are not possible to generate in L1 star union L2 star, because we can generate more elements, L1 union L2 star, right, because these are the elements. You can have additional elements like A, B, B, and all that. So it is a valid example. Any other example you want to check? Anyone else? Vicky has given one example. If someone wants to check some another example, then I will give you a very simple example and very interesting example for this. When you read that example, you feel that yes, we have never thought like that. This is also a correct example which Rikin has given, but I will give you a very simple and interesting example of this. Yes, any other example which someone wants to mention? Rikin has given one answer. What about others? So whatever Rikin has mentioned, same thing which I want to highlight here, which is a very simple but very interesting example. L1 is A. So what we are getting is L1 star is null A, double A, triple A, 4 times A. So basically L1 star will be your A raised to n greater than or equal to 0. Similarly, I have taken L2 as B. So L2 star null B, double B, triple B, 4 times B. So it is B raised to n greater than or equal to 0. So when I find L1 star union L2 star, I have all these elements like this: a null, then A, then B, then double A, double B, triple A, triple B. But you will never get a combination of AB or BA, right? You will never get a strings in which A and B are together. It has independent A, occurrences of independent A, it has occurrences of independent B's. You will never get a mixture of A and B like AB, BA, BA, AB, anything. But when you find L1 union L2, you will get A comma B because it is union of two sets. So definitely you will get L1 union L2 star is equal to A comma B whole star. So basically A comma B whole star is the entire dictionary. Basically this A comma B whole star is the entire dictionary. You can generate all the elements of the dictionary. Few of them are mentioned here, that is null, then A, then B, then AB, then BA, then ABA, like that. You will get all the elements. Mixture of A and B you will get, right? AA, AB, BA, BB, ABA, AAA, all the elements of sigma star. So basically here L1 union L2 whole star is a sigma star, while L1 star union L2 star is a subset of, or we can say proper subset of a sigma star, right? So we can say that L1 star union L2 star is always a subset of sigma star. So I hope the example is clear. Any query in this? So 3-4 people are actively interacting in the session. Others are not interacting so much. So if you take more interest, it will be more interesting, right? It is not a subject in which you have to remember anything. You can see it is an analytical subject. If you understand the things, you can attempt the paper very easily, right? Without doing any additional work. Right? You don't require any extra preparation for this subject. Okay, so now let us go to the next example. Are L1 intersection L2 star and L1 star intersection L2 star always equal? Now it is exactly reverse question. Previously we have discussed about the union operation. Now we are discussing about intersection operation. Yes, so can you give any example related to this? It is a very interesting example. R L1 intersection L2 star. So first we have to find the intersection, then we have to take the closure, and L1 star intersection L2 star always equal. So we are getting some responses, AB comma A and BA comma A. So L1 intersection L2. You can see L1 intersection L2 is only A, AB and BA will be cancelled out. So we are getting L1 intersection L2 equal to only A. Definitely it will be A star. You should take a closure of it. And then L1 star intersection L2 star. So L1 star will be patterns like, let us write L1 star patterns. We are having a concatenation of AB comma A with itself. So first will be AB comma A as it is. Then we have null also. That's fine. Then we have AB with AB. Then AB with A. Then A with, yes, Ricky has written something. I think it is L1 star. You are writing some elements of that. Okay, so that's what I am writing. First is the L1 itself, so I am writing AB comma A. Then ABAB, then ABA, then AAB, and AA. That's obvious, right? And similarly, we can find out L2 star. Two elements. So it is Same as the previous, we have to generate some elements. So it is BA and A. So here it is BA and A, then BA, then BAA, then ABA, and then AA. Right. So now you can see L1 star intersection L2 star. So you have some more elements, ABA, AA, both are there. I can see that. A is also there. Yes, something is written by Nitin, something different. BA, I have mentioned that. BAA, it is also mentioned. ABA is also mentioned. A is also mentioned. So it is same, right? Okay, so L1 star intersection L2 star is equal to, we are getting elements like A, you can see it is common. Then we have ABA, then we have AA. So at least we can see three elements in this. Three elements are clearly visible. A, then ABA, and AA. Clear? So here we are telling that L1 intersection L2 whole star and L1 star intersection L2 star, they are always equal. So answer is no, they are not always equal. One more example is given, I think, so by someone. Yes, Abhi has given the example A comma BA and BA comma A. So it is same as this, slight change in the pattern. And you can see both are A. Here instead of BA, okay, what Abhi has written. I think Abhi has written the same language, L1, L2. Yes, Abhi, you have written the same language. Ordering is not important in the set theory. A comma BA and BA comma A. So L1 and L2 both are same. Abhi, are you getting my point? Right? You are just changing the order of the elements. A comma BA or BA comma A. Both are same. So definitely you have to take two different languages, L1 and L2. Right? So I hope things are clear. Let us see the answer in the slide for this example. It may be this same answer, may be different. Yes, fortunately, A comma BA and AB comma A. Right, so it is same as AB comma A. So AB comma A is there, A comma BA. A comma BA is there, just order is different. L1 and L2 I have taken in a different way. So definitely they are not equal. We have seen that. We have some more examples. Right? A few elements which are generated. Let us see the answer. Right? Okay, L1 star intersection L2 star we have find out, and L1 intersection L2 we have find out A. Right? So you can see L1 intersection L2 star is not same as L1 star intersection L2 star. So I hope things are clear. So definitely you can see that this subject is like that. We can work on languages. Yes, if you consider more elements, definitely we'll have AB as common element. Definitely AB is also there. Right? If you take more elements in the list. Okay, so we have infinite examples. Like our languages are infinite. Any subset of sigma star is a valid language. So we have infinite languages possible from the sigma star, because sigma star itself is infinite. And also the examples we can solve on these languages are infinite as well. But we cannot stick to one topic, languages, in the entire semester. Right? We have to learn other things also. So in the next session also we'll have some basic knowledge of functions and relations. In functions we'll learn about one-to-one function, and then composite functions, right? One-to-many functions, composite functions, that we'll learn. and we'll learn about relations like reflexivity, symmetricity, transitivity, right? And definitely we cannot do more examples on languages because of the lack of time. So let me take the attendance. 2 is present, then 4, then 18, 22, 27, 28, then we have 38, 43, 46, 47, 49, 51, 53, 57, 58, 59, 60, 68, 72, 85, 88, 107, 108, 113, 115, 116, 118, 119, 124, 126, 139, 140, 145, 143, then 140, yes, 153, 161, 164, 166, 167. So try to put your numbers in a specific format so that automatically we get the sequence, right? So we have all the students 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Yes, so we have 42 present in the session, right? Okay, so we are ending the session here. Thank you all, and this material will be uploaded soon on the classroom. Thank you all.